Hey, I'm Jack, an ordinary guy with a not-so-ordinary secret. I can read minds. Yep, just like Professor X, but without the wheelchair. Married Laura, a rich gal, and we have a cute baby boy, Oliver. Laura's dad is pretty loaded, and I'd say he's as overbearing as a drill sergeant on a sugar high. Recently, Laura and her dad decided I might be a gold digger. Seriously? Me? I'm more of a Netflix binger than a gold digger. Instead of just asking me, they hatched a plan worthy of a daytime TV drama. They hired Amelia, a smoking hot babysitter, to seduce me. Talk about playing dirty. I've been keeping my mind reading a secret, but Amelia's advances make me break out the old mental radar. I discovered her true intentions, and boy, it was a more twisted plot than a Game of Thrones episode. So, I made up my mind. Time to turn the tables on them. I decided to go full-on Sherlock Holmes, using my powers to uncover their motives and expose them. Game on, folks! Stay tuned, because this story's packed with more twists, turns, and laughs than a roller coaster into a comedy club. So, Laura and her dad went all American Idol with the babysitter search. They interviewed a bunch of candidates and ultimately picked Amelia. When they introduced her to me, Laura said, "Jack, this is Amelia, our new babysitter. Isn't she perfect for the job?" Amelia flashed a charming smile, and I couldn't help but feel a strange vibe. But I couldn't just blurt out, "Hey, I read minds, and she's bad news." So I played along and said, "Yeah, she seems great." As if things weren't dramatic enough, Laura's dad just couldn't help but constantly take jabs at me for my humble roots. At one family dinner, he said, "Jack, it must be a nice change for you to eat on actual plates instead of paper ones, huh?" I gritted my teeth and replied, "It's a lovely dinner. Thank you." I tried to keep my cool and prove that I deserved Laura's love, despite her dad's relentless disses. Family gatherings felt more like a boxing match, with me dodging verbal uppercuts left and right. Meanwhile, Amelia was turning up the heat, trying to seduce me. One evening, she leaned in and whispered, "Jack, we could have so much fun together if you just give in." But hey, I wasn't about to fall for that female routine. I sternly replied, "Amelia, I'm a married man. This just isn't gonna happen." So here I was, stuck in a game of cat and mouse, with Amelia on one side and Laura's dad on the other. One day, when Laura was out, Amelia seized the opportunity to make her move. She sauntered over to me and flirtatiously said, "You know, Jack, a handsome man like you deserves someone who truly appreciates you." I rolled my eyes and replied, "Amelia, my love for Laura is real. You're barking up the wrong tree." But Amelia was persistent. She kept trying to flirt and expose me as a gold digger. One evening, she provocatively asked, "Jack, don't you ever get tired of being bossed around by Laura and her dad? We could make our own rules. Just you and me." I shot her down once again, saying, "My loyalty is to Laura, and that's never going to change." As her advances continued, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was seriously off. So I decided to use my mind-reading powers on Amelia. What I discovered shocked me to the core. Not only was Amelia trying to seduce me part of Laura's plan, but Laura herself was in on it. I confronted Amelia. "You're just following Laura's orders, aren't you? She put you up to this." Amelia hesitated for a moment, and then admitted, "Yes, Jack, Laura and her father wanted to test your loyalty. I'm sorry." I knew I couldn't just confront Laura and her father directly. I had to be smarter than that. So, I devised a plan to make them pay for their betrayal, using my mind-reading powers to my advantage. I started by focusing on Laura's father, the man who had constantly belittled me. I tapped into his mind and discovered hidden financial secrets about his business. He'd been involved in some shady deals, and I knew exposing these secrets would be the first step in my revenge. One day, during a family dinner, I casually mentioned a specific deal her father had made. He choked on his food, looking at me in disbelief. "How do you know about that, Jack?" he demanded. I smirked and replied, "I have my ways." Then I excused myself from the table and made a mysterious phone call. I tipped off a journalist friend about Laura's father's dirty dealings, and the news spread like wildfire. Soon enough, headlines were plastered all over the news, and her father's business started crumbling. His reputation was in tatters, and he was on the brink of financial ruin. For the next phase of my revenge, I decided to target their social standing. Laura and her father were all about appearances, so it was time to hit them where it hurt the most, their pride. I used my psychic abilities to learn about an upcoming high-profile event where they were attending. It was a swanky gala filled with their friends and colleagues. I knew this was the perfect opportunity for some public humiliation. On the night of the gala, I made sure Amelia was my +1. Laura and her father were visibly shocked when they saw us together, but they had no idea what was coming. As we mingled with the guests, I started dropping hints about the truth behind Amelia's hiring. I told a few influential people about Laura and her father's plan to discredit me by using Amelia as bait. Word spread quickly, and soon enough, whispers and glances were being exchanged across the room. Laura and her father could feel the judgmental eyes on them, but they still didn't know I was the one pulling the strings. Finally, I decided it was time for the grand reveal. I stood up, tapped my glass to get everyone's attention, and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I have an interesting story to share with you tonight. You see, my wife and her father here thought it would be a good idea to test my loyalty by hiring this lovely woman, Amelia, to seduce me." The room gasped, and all eyes were on Laura and her father, who were now beet red with embarrassment. I continued, "But instead of falling for their trap, Amelia and I are here to expose their twisted plan. So, here's to true love and loyalty, something that seems to be in short supply these days. Amelia, you don't have to be a pawn in their game anymore," I told her. "You can help me expose their manipulative actions and set things right." After a moment of hesitation, Amelia agreed. "You're right, Jack. I'll help you." As we worked together, our bond grew stronger. One night, Amelia confessed, "Jack, I never thought I could feel this way about someone, especially after everything that's happened. But I love you." I smiled and replied, "I love you too, Amelia. Let's leave this mess behind and build a future based on trust and love." Together, we exposed Laura and her father's deceit to the public as they faced consequences of their actions. Amelia and I began our new life. "Here's to our new beginning, Jack," she said as we walked hand in hand into the sunset. "Here's to us, Amelia. Here's to us." As Amelia and I prepared to leave, I couldn't help but share an idea I had. "You know, Amelia, we could use some extra resources to start our new life together. What do you think about taking a little parting gift from Laura's father?" Amelia raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "What do you have in mind, Jack?" Using my psychic abilities, I managed to uncover hidden bank accounts and initiated a transfer to a secure offshore account. When I showed Amelia the account balance, she gasped. "Jack, this is a fortune! We can start anew and leave all this behind." I grinned and replied, "Call it a little karma for their actions." As we made our escape, we couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and nervousness. We knew that once they discovered the missing fortune, there would be no turning back. "So, Jack," Amelia said playfully, "any idea where we should go first? Paris? The Bahamas? Or maybe somewhere more discreet?" I laughed and responded, "Well, Amelia, considering we just made a daring getaway with a fortune, maybe we should lay low for a while. But hey, once things settle down, the world is our oyster." As we drove off into the night, we knew our lives would never be the same. Laura and her father would soon face the consequences of their actions, while Amelia and I had a newfound love and a fortune to start our new life together. Amelia leaned her head on my shoulder and whispered, "I can't wait to see what adventures await us, Jack." I smirked and replied, "Me neither, Amelia. But one thing's for sure, our lives will never be boring."